Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. It's been a little while, but I'm coming back with this palette I am super excited about. This is by Blend Bunny and it's their new palette, The Beauty Below. It's all about dark, scary mermaids, which I super love. This is a vibe, like mermaids that will kill you. I am down with this. So just a little bit about this palette. We've got 24 shades, 12 are shimmers and 12 are mattes. And it's just a lot of really deep colors, which I'm kind of excited about because I really love colorful makeup, but I think like dark, bold looks are also super fun. So we're gonna give this a try, and I'm gonna try and use a decent selection so we can kind of get an idea of what these look like, and I'll also do some swatches for you. Okay, so let's get started with these swatches. And as always, I'm gonna do mattes with a brush, but for shimmers, I'm gonna use my fingers because I just think that's a little easier. So I'm gonna start off with this shade in the top right corner called Devour. And this is like, it's super deep, but it's also kind of like a mauve-y purple. It's coming out more true purple on my skin tone, which is super fun. I love true purples. Mauve purples are not my most favorite, but true purples are so pretty. I like this one a lot. Okay, we're just gonna work. I think we'll work down. This layout isn't as organized as Blend Bunnies often are, but I think if we work down and across, we'll get a good view. So this is called Lull and Slay. So I'll go ahead and do that one. And this is like a pinky purple, maybe kind of like a lilac. Ooh, that's really pretty. It's got really good sparkle to it. I like that one a lot. Super fun. Okay, and then we're going into some greens. We've got Dark Truth down here. And this looks like a nice forest green. Yeah, this is perfect, like almost a hunter green. I love this color. I'm just gonna put a little bit more on. Yes, look at that green. I thought it might be a little olive, but it's coming out like really true deep green. Love that. Okay, and next one is Mesmerizing. It kind of looks like it has a blue-green sheen to it, but the base is kind of an olive. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, cool. Yeah, so this ends up being more of a copper with a blue-green shimmer to it. That's really pretty. This ones always fool me. I was using the plastic palette also by Blend Bunny the other day, and this shimmer looked like super red, and I was like, oh, this is gonna look cool with the pink. It'll be like a fun color combo. And then it also turned out to be copper, and I was like, this is not the colors I was going for. The shimmers can be hard to tell. This is why I love swatching. So next we're gonna go with Intoxicating. This one looks kind of purpley. Ooh. It's almost like a black base, but it has purple and silver shimmer in it. That's pretty. Gorgeous. This next shade is Beckon. It's a little bit lighter of a purple than the first one we tried, Devour. So let's see what those look like. It's a little lighter. There we go. And this one does have less of a true purple undertone. It's a little more reddish. I I don't like it. Okay, and next, this shade Irresistible. This might be my favorite shimmer in the whole palette if it turns out how it looks in the pan, because this is gorgeous. But then I am a sucker for aqua. Oh my gosh. Yes, this is my favorite. Look at that color. Oh okay, so this is totally going to be in the look that I'm going to do. That's gorgeous. See, this is more of like a traditional mermaid color. Super pretty. Maybe we'll do like inner corner blue and then put like the black on the lid. We'll see. Super pretty. Okay, and this one down here is Beware the Mermaid. This one does look a little more olivey of a green. Although there's another one that looks super olive farther down, so we'll see. Yeah, this just turns out like a true green, but it's a little lighter, maybe even a little bit blue. Because if you look at those two greens, this is a little lighter and a little bluer, although maybe it just looks bluer next to that Irresistible. Super pretty. Now we're going up into Entrapment. This is a really deep chocolatey brown. I love dark brown. Like, it's actually one of my favorite colors. I don't think I've ever really used it in a look, just because I'm so obsessed with color. I have a hard time using neutrals when I'm doing looks. Yeah, it comes out as a really nice deep, it's a really nice deep chocolate. It's super pretty. I don't know how I'd use it, but I like it. Okay, this one is called Her Prey. And this is like, the shimmer looks golden, but it looks like kind of a salmon color in the pan. So we'll see. Ooh, so pretty. Yup, that salmon really comes out, and the golden shimmer is gorgeous. I love that while they have all these like deep shades, because you know, scary mermaids, we're still getting some like pretty traditional kind of really nice mermaid colors. I like that one a lot. Okay, our next one is Take Heed. This looks like black, so we'll see how it turns out. Yep, you can see it's got a cooler tone than that brown we put out earlier. They're both really dark, but this is black. Okay, and the last shimmer on this side is called Trance. Looks like a really bright yellow gold. Ooh. So on the skin, it's kind of like a green gold. And there's like a little bit of red shimmer in there, I think. It's kind of hard to detect because it's really subtle and there's not much of it. Looks super pretty. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next side. Our first one over here is Deadly Fate. And this one also looks a little bit purpley. So we'll see how this swatches. Oh, this one is also really black purple. It's got black and then like a little bit of purple shimmer. So I'm gonna kind of compare. Okay, so this one, I don't know if you can see, but this side looks almost a little blacker. And the first one we did, which was Intoxicating, I think is a little grayer. So they're very similar shades to my eye. Especially, I think I put a second coat on this one, or second layer. So they're looking a little different, but this one is a little more gray, a little more sheer, I think. Okay, our next one is Abduction. And this is like a neutral brown, a little darker than what I would use for a neutral. It almost looks like a bronzer shade to me, or a contour shade. But personally, I never do contour or bronzer. Like, that just is a little too complicated for my makeup style. There you go. Just kind of a brown. It'd make a nice transition shade for that other deep brown entrapment. This next one is called Cursed, and this also looks like it's going to be a black, but maybe it has a little bit more green shimmer in it. Let's see how that looks. Wow. Okay, I just want you to see the difference on my fingers there. This new one is definitely the blackest. Wow. Okay, so I think this is a really funny thing about like perspective and eyes, right? When I swatched this, I was like, okay, pretty black. And then I swatched this one and I was like, oh no, that's definitely blacker. Now we've got this new one, Cursed, and this is obviously the blackest of all. So we've got like a three-tone transition of shimmers here. And this one does, I think, also have a little bit more green. You can see there's a little bit more green shimmer in there. That'd be kind of fun to do like a transition over the eyes. Okay, this next one is a matte shade called Murky Waters, and this one looks like a real olive green. It's actually going to be really hard to see on my skin tone because I have these olivey yellow undertones. That's going to make it not stand out. It kind of just looks like I have a little bruise. I'm sure that's going to stand out more and look a lot better on people with like a pinker skin tone. But that's just not a color that looks good on my wrist. Okay, next one we're gonna go for is Tempt. This is like a deep burgundy looking kind of shade. I've been really loving like reddish shades on my eyes lately. Ooh, yeah. This almost leans more purple than a traditional burgundy. Super pretty. Forgive my coordination with my left hand. It's not my strong suit. There you can see that really burgundy purple. I like that. Let's put it next to the other purples. There you go. You can kind of see how that makes the other ones look more true purple, and this one look like a more red purple. This shade looks really gorgeous too. This is called Atargates. I'm not sure what that means. It's pretty. This is gorgeous. Yes. Okay. I know. This is supposed to be a dark beauty palette, but like, I want to put that shade next to Irresistible and just be a traditional fancy mermaid because it's so pretty. So fancy. Okay, next we're going to go in with this really deep navy blue. This is Abyss. Gorgeous. That's really pretty. So I keep thinking as I'm doing these about the look I want to do. And maybe I want to do just like navy everywhere and then put shimmer on top of it. I don't know. I love that navy shade. This next one is called Immerse. This looks like a really light purple. Maybe we're gonna get that lilac shade that I thought our first shimmer was gonna be. Oh, yes. Not quite, like you couldn't quite call it a lilac. It's really brighter than that, but it's pretty? Man, I am loving the shimmers in this palette. Just gorgeous, gorgeous shimmers. Okay, next we're going to move on to Carnivorous. This looks like a deeper pink, a little bit of purple in it. Let's see how this looks. Oh yeah, this is like a deeper base, maybe even a black base. But it's got a lot of that purpley pinky shimmer in it. Super pretty. Okay, and then we've got Siren Shriek. This is a pink, so bold that it almost looks like a red. We're gonna see how that looks. Yeah, it's a pinky red. I really like this color too, actually. I've said it a million times now, but I get that this is supposed to be a Scary Mermaid palette, but I'm excited for all these bright colors. Like, these are real mermaid things here. Okay, now I've got a really, this looks like it might actually have some deep blue in it. A shimmer called Pulled Under. Okay, now it's mostly black, but it's got a different shimmer than these other ones. These ones we were doing before were mostly like green purple. This one is predominantly blue and a little bit of purple in there. Let you see that. I kind of like that color. Okay, and then last but not least is this kind of pale blue watery grave. Oh, this is pretty too. This is a more subdued blue, kind of more in line with the whole darkness theme. I like that. Okay, and that is all the shades swatched. So next, I'm going to come up with a look and we'll do it together and see how it goes. You guys, I'm going into my bathroom to like clean up the swatches off my arms from the video, and I have like this giant streak of eyeshadow on my face. What am I even doing? What happened? What is my life? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm just gonna put this CeraVe Facial Moisturizing Sunscreen on my face. I used to use Oars and Alps, which I really liked, but then it started turning my face all red and making me kind of puffy, so I think I like became allergic to something in it. I don't know what happened, so I'm using this now. Then I'm gonna use my Ulta Beauty Eye Primer. I swear by this stuff. I really genuinely think that it makes eyeshadow stick better and stand out more, and you don't have to use as much product to get a cool effect. Okay, and if you've watched my channel before, you'll know I don't do foundation, so I'm not gonna do all that stuff or concealer. It's not really my thing. I'm just too lazy, frankly. It's no moral judgment on anybody who likes that stuff. I want to get straight to the color. So let's go ahead and plan out an eye look here. Oh, I'm so torn. I know that I really, really want to use, especially Irresistible. Definitely turned out to be my favorite. And the Atargatis. That also, I really want that one. And we might try and use Immerse like on the lower lash line. I think that might be pretty. So we'll try that. I don't know what mattes I want to put on there though. I might try and use Abyss and Watery Grave. Okay, let's try that. We're going to put Watery Grave on the lower lash line and kind of the front part of the lid, and then go in with Abyss in the corners and for an eyeliner also. Okay, so here I'm going to go in with Watery Grave. I'm going to kind of blend that upward. So we're going to do the shimmers primarily on the lid. And this will show kind of above that lid line. Okay, and this is kind of my newbie trick if any of y'all are newbies like me. I really like to do one part of the eye on both eyes at a time, if that makes sense. So like I'm going to go in with that blue and then I'm going to go in with the blue on the other side rather than doing like completing one eye and then going back and doing the other one from scratch. Just because I find it easier to keep track of like what I did, and if something starts to look uneven, it's a little easier to fix it like in the moment. Like if I accidentally blew out this side of the blue like much more than I had done the other side, it'd be easier for me to go back to the other side and just kind of like blow it out more. And that way I'm not like trying to go back in on a finished eye and correct mistakes on my first one. Okay, and then I'm going to just go in with this same Watery Grave and put it on my lower lash line. I don't want it to be super prominent, but I don't want it to be an eyeliner either. I want to have like that little pop of color down there. Okay, so now on the outer edge of the lid, I'm going to go in with Abyss. This is probably going to look really dark, but I think it'll be fine. Okay, and I'm just trying to apply it really small, just in that corner. Then we'll blend it out. Okay, and then I'm going to go in and just a little bit, just take a touch and put it along my crease. A deeper blue will give a little bit of definition there. Okay, and I'm going to do some more with Watery Grave. Kind of get some of that patchiness that's showing through to go away. Okay, so right now it's giving raccoon. That's okay. We're gonna put some beautiful colorful shimmers on here and cross our fingers that that evens everything out. Okay, I'm gonna go in with Irresistible in the corners and kind of blend that out towards the lid, and then I'm gonna put Atargatis like mid-lid. See how this goes. Okay, and I'm gonna blend with my brush that had this Watery Grave on it, just to kind of help those. And I'm really just blending down on this lower lash line and in the corners where I kind of want it to blend a little bit better and not have a harsh line. But on the lid, I'm going to kind of leave that line because I kind of like the look of that. Then we're going to put on that Atargatis, this pretty, pretty bright pink. Okay, and then we are definitely going to put some shimmer on the bottom because I feel like this needs a little bit of balance. And because I also still feel like it needs that balance, I'm actually going to go in with this kind of yellow-green trance, just to kind of put a complementary color down here. I think it's going to look cool. We'll see. And for this one, I am going to use a brush because it's just a little easier to get shimmer to be precise when you're using a brush rather than a finger. And it also goes on a little more sheer, which I feel like will work nicely for this lower lash line. Okay, and then we're gonna go in and use that dark blue Abyss as an eyeliner. And I like to do my eyeliner up from the bottom, just because it works better for my eye shape. And I'm gonna do a little bit of a cat eye with this. Okay, now for the finishing touches. I'm going to use my Lash Paradise Mascara. This is by L'Oreal. This is just, I don't know. I'm not picky about mascara. When I need a new one, I just grab one. This one works pretty well. And for blush, I kind of want to go a little dramatic. So I'm going to get out my old Super Shock from ColourPop. This one's called Magic Moon. I love this one because it starts out all nice and shimmery. Then I'm going to go in with my NYX Better Melt Highlight. These are so hard to open, by the way. But this one is called Number One Butter, and it's purple, which is fun. I don't know how other people like to do their highlight, but I found that I like to put it on before I blend my blush, and then I kind of blend it all together. I think that makes it look the best. Yeah, I'm kind of just digging that like all over glow look. It's fun. And then to kind of stick with the Blend Bunny theme, I'm going to go in with one of their lip oils. This one is called Ripe. It's the dark purple. I love this one. And of course, I forgot to do my brows. So I'm going to go in with my ColourPop brow gel and just do that real quick. I was kind of hesitant about doing my brows for a long time. Mostly because I don't know. Like I don't even like to pluck my brows. Like I don't want to mess with that. That seems like such a whole thing to do, and it's just not. Like I just want to play with colors. I don't want to spend time plucking my brows. So as a compromise, I kind of started to use the brow gel because it does kind of, like obviously I still have hairs everywhere and like it's not a clean look, but it makes it a cleaner look than if I just were to leave it alone. So this is my compromise. So here is the look with the Beauty Below palette from Blend Bunny. I don't know that I love it, actually. The palette is really good. I don't know, I feel like I could have done better on this look. Maybe there's too much blue in the corners. I'm not really sure what happened here. It doesn't look bad. But the palette I felt like was super awesome. The shimmers especially were really high performing. And I know that one of the criticisms of Blend Bunny is that their shimmers just aren't really very impressive. So I just wanted to say that I felt like they have really stepped it up on the shimmers. The mattes, they're good mattes. Like they blend well, they go well on the skin. Like even when I was doing brushes for swatches on my wrist, like I really only needed one layer, which I think is great for mattes. The colors aren't my most favorite in the whole world. I feel like there's just too many dark colors. And I feel like maybe that's why I had trouble kind of putting a look together. And maybe that's my fault, and I was just trying to be too bright and shimmery about a palette that's supposed to be kind of a deep, dark thing. But I really do. I feel like there's just too many dark mattes here. The palette could have benefited from like just a couple lighter, brighter shades to kind of go with those lighter, brighter shimmers. Like, I appreciate that we have shades like Murky Waters and Watery Grave, which aren't as dark, but they're just so. I don't want to call them drab because they're not drab. They're supposed to be dark and muted. But I feel like that just needed to be balanced with one or two brighter and lighter colors to really give it a better variety of looks. But again, maybe that's me just being picky because this isn't the kind of look that I typically go for, so I don't really know what I'm doing. And maybe that definitely was a handicap here with this particular palette. The Beauty Below palette is available on blendbunny.com. There's also a couple other retail sites you can get it across the internet. But yeah, pretty great palette. I think the formula, one of Blend Bunny's best. The color story, not my most favorite, but at least it wasn't another rainbow palette. I love that she's branching out and doing new things and trying new color stories. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day.